South Africa's defense industry has always been a bit controversial. During the apartheid era, South African guns and other weapons could be found in many of Africa's conflicts. But with the coming of democracy, the defense industry has seen an increased demand for its products and services. Egon Cossou reports.
It's a tough climb, but South Africa's defense industry is working hard to reinvent itself. It's thought the country spends around $4 billion a year on defense, or just over 1% of its total economic output. That figure is under pressure from competing priorities like education and boosting the infrastructure. South Africa's defense and aerospace industry is worth billions, but the central irony is that it was born and brought to fruition during the apartheid regime. And in fact, this vehicle testing range, where these vehicles are being put through their paces, was established during the 1970s and 80s, at a time when the majority of people in this country couldn't even vote. And yet today, the industry is one of the biggest foreign revenue earners for the entire economy. For many defence firms, like this one based close to Pretoria, there's a real drive to push into overseas markets. The Paramount Group makes, amongst other things, mine-resistant armoured personnel carriers, and it's got its eye firmly on foreign customers. I'm inside a Matador armoured personnel carrier that's being put through its paces. Now, it specialises in going through particularly rugged terrain, as you can probably tell. Now, it goes into service later on this year. It's being sold to Azerbaijan. Pressure on defence spending at home has seen many firms slim down and specialise, so those making ammunition, small arms and armoured vehicles are doing well, whilst others, depending mainly on the home market, are feeling the pinch.
It's designed for desert conditions as well.
But surely the last thing Africa needs is more military hardware.
This is an African competence. The technology that exists in South Africa, the defense and aerospace sector, is an asset of the continent. And my vision has always been to see how we can use that as a mechanism to contribute to the development of other countries in Africa. And that's exactly what our group is doing every single day.
Paramount stresses it doesn't sell weapons, only defensive equipment, and that it's forbidden by law from selling to oppressive regimes or any country at war. Another big player is Aerospace, again based close to Pretoria. It makes parts for aircraft. Now this is known as a rear spar, and is destined to become part of the wingtip of the A400M military transport plane being constructed on the other side of the world in Toulouse in France. Aerospace believes that despite the industry's controversial image, it's providing key skills for South Africa's workforce. That's also the view of Mputu Mpelele, who works for the company.
I'm on the inspection line now. I'm busy training for the CMM, where we measure the parts after they machine it. I will be happy if I can be the engineer doing some designing of some parts for the aircraft. Yeah.
Whether that faith in the sector will be repaid is far from clear. The future health of defence companies could rest on political decisions.
There are niches where the industry still does well. It's developed some foreign partnerships. Some local companies have been bought up by foreign companies. They're doing quite well, and I think the potential is still there. And certainly if the government intends to take up its regional security responsibilities, it will have to re-equip the defence force. And a lot of that equipment would be sourced locally, quite logically.
But if this doesn't happen and the squeeze on domestic defence spending intensifies, exports could be hit. Foreign buyers spending billions on high-tech systems don't want to do business with a weak sector. As the industry rolls on, it waits to see just how hard the road ahead will be. Egon Cossou, Africa Business Report, Pretoria, South Africa.